Acknowledge me!
Hello and welcome to Bitchin' About Wrestling, maybe for the final time, but only as this current name, because we are currently going under a rebrand. We've decided to change the name up of this show a little bit because every week we're talking about how much we love WWE and that wrestling is awesome. So that is going to be the name of our show moving forward. So hopefully by next week's episode, that'll change. You'll start seeing our handles start changing on all our social media platforms. So if you want to follow the show, make sure you're checking out Wrestling is Awesome. We are going to be everywhere on that. Nick's done a great job on our new logo, keeping like very much the same themes, but a little bit of a rebrand because we found that bitching caused a little bit of a problem when it came to social media platforms accepting that name. So we had a little bit of a change up. Lee joining me from the group today. How are you doing, Lee?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I am exhausted. I've done the length and breadth for the 303 this week, but I'm on holiday tomorrow, so it's all good.
Nice.
And then Saturday we've got Bad Blood.
Bad Blood. Absolutely. We are back. That is what we're here today to talk about. We are here to give our predictions for WWE Bad Blood. So it is just the two of us. We've both got our predictions, but I do have some of the predictions from Rax and Alex. They've messaged me through, so we'll go through those as well. If you're not familiar with what we do, as a group, we give our predictions and we basically distribute points based on different things. So you get a point for the correct winner, and then how, whether it's pinfall, submission, DQ, and then a bonus point for each one. So something that might happen in the match. And then when it comes to a tag team match, there's extra points where who gets the win and who takes the loss. Then there's overall premium live event bonus point if you think anything else is going to happen on the show. Lee gave his predictions and he won the first time as a newbie a couple of pay-per-views ago, and that led him to joining the show. So if you want to join us, stick your predictions in the comments, and if you beat any of us, then maybe you can get on the show too. And I think actually Alex's wife beat him last time. I know that Emma drew with me, so I do have my wife's predictions as well. So we're going to see how well she does against me this time. And also for WWE Bad Blood, I will be doing a live reaction stream on YouTube. So the link will be going out onto our YouTube page soon. All you'll need to do is click that when we go live. I'll be starting about 10:45 p.m. with the event starting at 11 p.m. I did it for Bash in Berlin. It was great fun. People in the chat talking wrestling. It was an absolute blast. So I might have some of the team here with me and we'll be watching it together and commenting together. Hopefully that'll be great if they're available, but otherwise come and join me, have a blast. And Bad Blood is going to be an awesome pay-per-view. So the first match that I want to go into is Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Lee, who do you have picking up the W for this one?
I have gone with Mr. Priest. I've gone with Damian pinning Finn. I think it's the logical conclusion to the story. Now, for anyone that's listened to the previous pod we did this week, I was right behind you, Cannon, when you said I think it's going to be 1-1. And I think, I've gone with Damian Priest pinning Finn. I think that'll be the only win for the Terror Twins. Spoiler alert. Okay. I think it's going to be Judgment Day interference. I think Carlito and JD McDonough are coming down. It's going to be close, but Finn's coming away with a loss here, I think.
Right. Okay. Rax and Alex both share your opinion. They've both gone for Damian Priest as well via pinfall, and again, Judgment Day interference. It's got to happen, right? I've decided to go the other way. So I've actually gone for a Balor win. Now, the reason I kind of gone for it is Priest obviously lost his title match. And then he won his next pay-per-view match via the Terror Twins versus the Judgment Day. Who were they facing? Was it Balor and
JD? I think it was Liv and... it
was Liv and Dom, wasn't it? Of course. Yeah, it was Liv and Dom. So I think if Balor was to lose at this point, it's going to make him look really weak. And I think that if the Judgment Day is to survive, I potentially feel that Balor needs to be the one to keep moving them forward. If Liv wins, she could, but I think that it really dampen down on Finn. Finn could potentially start going for World Heavyweight Championship matches, but I feel if he loses this, then all that kind of dies off. I think Priest is at the moment, because it's going to be a numbers game, he's not going to lose out of skill anything other than it's going to end up being sort of like at least 3-on-1. So you're going to have JD come out, you're going to have Carlito come out, and it's just going to be an overwhelming. So I think that is where, I mean, I thought maybe Jey Uso might come out, but now that he's won the title and that's kind of leading into a title match with Woods next week, I don't see him necessarily coming out at this point. I think it's not going to happen on this pay-per-view. So yes, I've decided to go for Balor, pinfall, and again, Judgment Day interference. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually really pile on top of him and actually put him out of action for a couple of weeks to give him a break.
I think that'd do him some good.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the feud can still keep going, but not have them on the show every week. I think, yeah, that might play well. So, and if you have that 3-on-1, we can make it work.
I think all 5 of these matches have arguments for both contenders winning.
100%.
Yeah. You know, you flip your one and say that Finn wins. That plays perfectly into the storyline that Finn ain't no sidekick. You know, I'm the man now. Yeah, so
exactly. Yeah. Well, I told you all along we didn't need you. You know, so yeah. All right. Let's move on to the WWE Women's Championship. We have Nia Jax versus Bayley. So I've gone for a Nia win here. I don't think it'd be right for Bayley to win. I don't think there's been enough momentum for her to go into this. Really, it's about the relationship between Nia and Tiff. So I think I'm torn between Tiff cashing in or not, but I think it might still be a little bit early for that to happen. So I think she's gonna again consider cashing in and get really close. Maybe even the referee takes the briefcase, but before the bell rings, something happens, whether Nia grabs her or whatever it is. So I think we might see the fallout of their relationship, but I don't think it's going to be the case of stabbing her in the back directly. I think actually they might then end up having a little bit of a feud, or Tiff then keep threatening to cash in on her and not having her as a psychic. I don't know. They're very strong when it comes to social media, and so that kind of goes against what I'm thinking. But I think it's going to be an attempted cash in, but the bell won't ring. So I just don't think it's going to happen just yet. Raxi's gone for Nia. Alex, but he's gone for Nia as well, both by a pinfall, but they've both gone for a Tiffany cash in with a success.
Ooh.
So they think
it's coming.
They think it's coming, and I like I say, it could very well happen. If I was booking it, I think it might be a little bit early. But yeah, at the same time, Tiffany, if you don't strike while it's hot, you can lose the momentum and you can lose the crowd. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen. What have you gone for?
I think you've been reading my notes, my friend. I've got it word for word. I've gone Nia, pin, Tiff teases a cash in, but won't. I think, I think she's going to flirt with it. I was booking this on my drive to Aldershot this morning, and I was, Crown Jewel, you know, seems it's just around the corner. Is that the right time? Potentially cash in, give the crowd a little pop, a little bit of excitement, because not much happens normally at a Saudi pay-per-views today. It's sort of filler and pleaser, but no. I've also, as a little caveat, I don't know if you'll let me have this as my bonus or not. I've put a Tiffy tease, but I've also got maybe Naomi might feature somewhere within the finish to sort of keep the 3 of them in this title storyline into Crown Jewel. But yeah, it's a bit left field.
It could happen. Well, because actually Tiff and Naomi are fighting this week on SmackDown before the pay-per-view. So maybe it's Naomi who ends up stopping her cashing in. So maybe she'll try and cash in to make it a triple threat. So maybe she won't even wait for Nia to go down. Maybe they'll both be down and maybe try and make it a triple threat, and then Naomi stops her from doing that. So that's definitely something that can play into it. But yeah, no, I'll add that to your bonus. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. Right, let's talk about the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, with Dirty Dom Mysterio up in a shark cage above the ring. I'll let you know what Rax and Alex have gone for. So Rax has gone for Liv Morgan with a pinfall, and he thinks that Dom will have a weapon that he keeps in the cage that he'll pass to Liv in the match. Alex has gone for Rhea with a pinfall, and he's put Dom falls out the cage, which I think would be hilarious. So Lee, what are you going for?
Oh, I went backwards and forwards to this one.
I did too. I changed it at least 3 times before the show.
Yeah, the story's all about Rhea's almost redemption, isn't it? To the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. But I'm gonna no fence sitting here. I'm gonna pick a side, and I'm going with Liv. I pick Liv to pin Rhea, and I agree with Rax. I think Dom's gonna have something up in that cage, a chain or something. They always seem, whenever someone's in a shark cage, there's always some shenanigans with it, isn't there? And something's going to happen. I remember the last one, James Ellsworth was up there, wasn't he? Hanging about with Carmella, and he cost my girl Oscar. So I'm gonna Liv pins Rhea. It's in. Okay,
it's locked. Right, final answer. Because originally I had Liv and then Damien winning. But then I think part of me goes with what I would book as opposed to what I would think would happen. So I was like, no, I think Finn needs a moment because he hasn't got that. So, and I feel that Liv has had hers because she had hers at SummerSlam and, everything that's happened since Rhea's been injured. So for me, the way I would book it is I would have Rhea going over and getting that belt back and then Liv going on the chase again with Dom in tow. And I don't have a problem with that. So I've gone Rhea with a pinfall. But I've said, yes, Dom is going to get out of the cage. And I thought this would be a really nice spot. Dom goes to frog splash Rhea from the cage, but then ends up hitting Liv and costing her the match accidentally. And then it's going to be, how does their relationship survive that? Was it on purpose? Are you questioning? And then is Liv going to start questioning? Have you double crossed me? So, so I've gone for Rhea on that one.
We haven't had the little payoff of Rhea riptide in Dom yet, have we?
No.
It's been I'm sure that's going to happen at some point.
That's why I think he might knock Liv down. She'll riptide him to put him down and then finish Liv off. Yeah, I could see it because he's up in that cage. Something's got to happen to him, or whether she beats Liv and then hits him afterwards, I don't know. Maybe she'll let's say, bring down the cage. I want him. But I can't see him staying up in the cage the whole time and not interfering in any way. It'd be really weird. So, all right. So we got 2 more matches. I think I'm going to go with the next match because I think this should actually potentially go on first of the night. And then the other match should finish it. So I'm going to go with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob for 2. I think this should open the show.
Right answer.
Because as much as Cody and Reigns are the big 2 in WWE right now, Punk and Drew, the way this has been building, the fact that it's Hell in a Cell should close a pay-per-view or a premium live event to me. The whole point is the arena's in destruction right now. They would have potentially destroyed the structure. Tables would have gone. I think if you put down the first match of the night, I just don't think it sits as well. So that's how I would do it. But I don't think you could have Cody and Roman then Punk. Do you know what I mean? You'd probably have to put Nia or something in between those, or even Finn and Balor before the main event, something like that. But so Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. So Rax has gone for Cody and Roman. He said pinfall. He's gone for Roman pinning Solo. And his bonus point is The Rock makes a return.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now, Pat McAfee had Cody Rhodes on his show this week. And at the end of the show, they had a behind the scenes thing. And he said, the big man's coming back. And so people have presumed he was talking to Cody about The Rock. So it's possible that he could come out. If he comes out, I think if this match goes on last, yes, he will come out. But if it doesn't go on last, he won't be. That's kind of how I feel. Because the only thing you can do is have The Rock closing out the show. Do you know what I mean? Yep. It couldn't happen any other time. So if Punk and Drew go on first or any earlier, then I think that might happen. So Alex, he's gone for Solo and Jacob. He's gone for pinfall. He said that Solo will pin Cody. And he's got a Randy turn on Cody at the pay-per-view. So I'm presuming that he's expecting Bloodline, Cody and Owens to make an appearance. Lee, what have you gone for?
For me, it was all about the position of this match in the card as well. Totally agree. I think it should go on first. You know, I think it's fair to the performers, just tacking on to what you said a second ago, that the Hell in a Cell goes on last, because once you've had the absolute carnage that is going to be Punk and Drew, how would you top it? You don't, do you? It's just not fair to then, it will suck out the energy in the crowd. I think, Hell in a Cell has to main event. And for me, that played a huge part in my next two predictions.
Right.
So the tag match, I've gone with a Bloodline win. I've gone with Jacob Fatu pinning Cody.
Right.
And then this is something that I've been fantasy booking in my head. I think we were all expecting at Survivor Series Bloodline Civil War. I don't think that's coming. I think we're going to have a 4-on-4. We're going to have Solo's Bloodline against Orton, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes. And
Correct.
That's where I think. Do you agree?
100%.
You with me?
Yeah.
Let's book it.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the Orton heel turn's coming.
Correct.
So I've gone, just to reiterate, I've gone with a Bloodline, Fatu pinning Cody. I think Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are going to come out. There's after the match, there's going to be a beatdown. They're going to come out to support Reigns and Cody, and there's going to be more Kevin heel turn teasers. What are you doing? Maybe a shove on Roman, and walks out on his own. I don't know, but I think I agree 100% with Alex. We're getting a Randy heel turn. I just think it's a tad too early now.
Yeah, agreed. I'd agree. Yeah, very similar. Again, we're copying each other's homework. So Solo and Jacob, I've gone for the people. I put Solo to go over Cody. I was tempted by Jacob, but I don't think Solo would allow it. I kind of expect, because sometimes there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect there between Solo and Jacob because he knows how strong Jacob is. So like when they had the cage match and he was going to go in and have face-to-face with Roman, Solo pulled him out. And I think there might be a case of Jacob maybe going for the pin and Solo standing there or moving him off to take the pin himself so he can stand tall.
Can see it.
Yeah, so I think something like that might go down. Solo pinning Cody. And Bloodline, KO, Randy all come out. And I think it's going to have that sense of Cody feeling alone at the end of the match. So Kevin Owen and, Orton, they tried to come out and help him, but it's like, look, you went with Roman, you still haven't won. He hasn't helped you like we can help you. And there's kind of that little bit of disgust kind of look going on. More so from Kevin. I think Randy will still try and play the peacekeeper again, like a little bit like trying to play both sides. But I think that Reigns is going to be, this is the guy that beat me a little bit. It's like, you're supposed to be helping me here and you couldn't get the job done. So it's maybe something like that.
Can I shoot an early prediction for Crown Jewel?
Yeah, go for it.
I think the main event of Crown Jewel is going to be Roman Cody 3. I think that is what's going to tip Randy over the edge. I think that's when he'll start. I've had enough of this. I've had you back all the time.
Yeah.
Where's my title shot? Because it's not a huge gap between Crown Jewel and Survivor Series.
No, there isn't. So it's only 4 weeks, maybe even 3 because of the timings. But it's a good shout. I think Roman kind of has to be there at Crown Jewel because I'd imagine they're throwing a lot of money at that PLE to make that happen. That is interesting. That could happen. But I agree. I think it is going to be sort of like Randy, KO, Roman, Cody as the 4 versus the Bloodline. Yeah,
I kind of like that more than Bloodline Civil War. I kind of there's so many branches to that story rather than one singular trail to the Rock versus Roman, which we all want at Mania.
Yeah, that's right. And I think it kind of leads itself into it more, the fact that Jay's got the title now, because there's less of a reason for him to team up with Roman and help him now. He's like, I'm a champ now. I don't need this. So they need more time to build that up. And so I think it needs to happen more towards next year and maybe wait for that Netflix run to happen, because then it's going to be uncensored and The Rock can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Oh, it's going to be money, isn't it? It is going to be money.
It is. It's going to get nasty when he comes back. And yeah, it's that's going to be mental. Absolutely mental. Right, let's move on to the main event of the night. This is probably the one I struggled with the most in terms of which way they would go. It is CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in Hell in a Cell. But saying that, at the moment, I've got Rax and Alex both going for CM Punk with a pinfall. Rax has said there will be blood, and absolutely there will be. You can't have Bad Blood pay-per-view without blood in the main event.
Nope.
Alex has gone, someone goes off the top of Hell in the Cell. And I ultimately went with Punk as well, because I think that Drew has had a fantastic run, and I don't think it will necessarily hurt him.
No.
Maybe even he may take some time off after this, because I think that Punk, because he's had so much time off since his contract started, I think he needs to be more present for WWE. So I think if he loses, I think that makes it harder. So I've gone for that. I've gone for a fall off the top or maybe even the side of the cage. And I think it'll be Drew that takes the bump. But yeah, I've at the moment, I've got Punk going over, because I think if Drew wins, it lets all the steam out of Punk, and I don't know where he goes from here.
Agreed.
Where Drew can just find his next spot. I wouldn't be surprised if Drew ends up going after with Barrett and having a match there. Do you know what I mean? They've been teasing all kinds of stuff with Drew. Drew could pick a fight with anyone and it wouldn't be an issue. Seth's going to be coming back. Well, Seth is back, so something might happen there. So yeah, it's a tricky one. But the other thing is, because Seth is now going to be involved in the story with Big Bronson Reed, you could argue that Drew will win. Punk goes away again for a couple of weeks because, maybe his contract as he is only does like 40 appearances a year. Do you know what I mean? It might be really reduced. So he could go away again. And then, Drew picks on it, takes his next target. Could even be Bron Breakker or something like that. Who knows? But yeah, this is a really hard one to call. But who have you gone for?
I've gone with Punk as well. Firstly, if this is not Slammy Feud of the Year, I will quit wrestling. Wrestling is awesome, and a lot of that is to do with this Punk Drew feud. It's been going on since Rumble. It's insane. Well, since Survivor, almost 12 months since Survivor Series. Yeah, fantastic. I've gone with a Punk pins Drew. Punk hasn't pinned Drew yet. He beat him in a touch in the corners, but he's not pinned him.
It's true. Exactly that.
My prediction is there is going to be blood. It's a bit weak. Someone go off the side. I've got to ask Alex. I need to know, Alex. Are you seeing envisaging Punk flying Mick Foley style off of the top? But
I don't think Punk would make it.
No.
If someone's going over, it's got to be Drew, right? Punk wouldn't survive.
Punk's yeah.
I mean, he survived, but he'd be out for another 6 months. So
yeah, minimum. I think I agree as well. I think Drew will probably come off the side. He's done it before. He'll do it again. Great feud though. What a feud. Best thing.
That segment on Raw was fantastic.
Yeah.
So good this week.
There were more lines. I forgot about the 12. You've been back 12 months, and I injured you for 4 of them, and then it was just so good. Such hatred.
So good.
Yeah.
And like he says, it's all facts.
Yeah. And did you hear as well? I think the crowd is starting to buy into Drew a little bit with this. There weren't as many the whole arena was not chanting CM Punk's name on Monday night. They
only chanted it when he said, and they still chant your name. But then after that, they didn't do it. They only did it to wind him up because he mentioned it. But otherwise, I felt it was quite balanced. Yeah, to be fair.
Where do we go from here, though? I think keep Punk away from Gunther, please. Just let Gunther be the world champ forever. But I think long-term storytelling. I think we have got a Punk title win and potentially a Rollins Rumble win or an Elimination Chamber win to lead to that Mania match that we should have had last year.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre, what would I like to see Drew do? Anything. I would like, and I don't know how this would happen because they're on different brands, but I'd love to see Drew and Logan Paul go toe to toe for a little bit. Yeah, get the social media influencing on and watch Logan, who can take a fantastic bump and sells great.
Yeah.
Take some of that Scottish offense. Take that
Mhm.
Claymore. I think it'd be good fun. Could see that as a
That would
Mania
be.
match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle with Seth and Punk because I think Punk is so desperate for his WrestleMania moment to win at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Seth has lost like the last 2 WrestleManias, I think, in a row.
He has, yeah. He lost to Drew, didn't he? At the one just
Yeah.
gone.
And I think
And
he
the
lost
tag
the one
match.
and the tag match. Yeah. So I don't see him losing at Mania again. Do you know what I mean? Oh, because he lost against Cody at WrestleMania as well when Cody returned. So he's had a lot of losses at WrestleMania. So unless that's why potentially I don't see them two fighting at WrestleMania unless Punk is going to take the L. I just don't see Seth going over for him, and yeah, it's a very strange one. There's just so many different circumstances, like how could Gunther not be in the title picture at WrestleMania as well?
I know.
And maybe Punk could go over Gunther, who knows?
Yeah.
But that could work. But yeah, it's a long way to go. But like we said, wrestling is awesome. So
it is.
I asked my wife what her predictions were. So she really doesn't know much about this stuff at all. She catches little bits off the TV as I'm watching it. So she's familiar with some of the feuds and some of the characters, especially like Liv and Rhea and the Judgment Day. She's like, oh my God, these guys again. Even she said this week, she's still bitching about the fact she's got this championship and she's winding Rhea up. I was like, yeah. She's still saying the same thing. So she went for Drew. She went for Cody and Roman. She went for Bailey. She went for Damian, and then she went for Rhea. So we only had one in common. So we'll see who comes out on top.
Opposites attract, Kenan. Opposites attract.
Well, that's it. I mean, the show might end up being called I Don't Know What I'm Talking About if my wife beats me on this one. So we'll see what happens. But those are our predictions. Any final thoughts on Bad Blood, Lee?
I think this is a brilliant pay-per-view. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm loving the 5-match format. I think we get 15 minutes of good action, good storytelling. And like I said earlier, I would not be surprised if I was 5 for 5, and I would not be surprised if I was 0 for 5 either.
Yeah.
And everything makes sense. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, and that's it. Because some pay-per-views you've gone in feeling it's quite predictable. But I think this one can't really say nailed on. I think the only one that I would feel is the most predictable is Nia Bailey. Yeah. Because I just don't see Bailey winning. But other than that, yeah, it's easily 50-50 across the board. Premium live event bonus point. Did you have anything else happening on the show? Any returns or anything like that?
Again, I don't know if this is a bit too loose. I've put the Hell in a Cell main events.
No, that's fine.
Is that all right? I'll take, other than that, I see this as a finisher pay-per-view. I think this is a lot of feuds closed. Then we start the road to Rumble and the road to Mania. And then we're back on the merry-go-round again.
Yeah. I think for me, the only other bonus point is potentially if Cody and Roman goes on last, I could see The Rock coming out. Even just coming out and standing there doesn't need to interfere, just to let you know I'm still here, I'm still watching. I don't think they're in a position for a new Bloodline member yet. That was the only other thing, that if somebody else was going to come onto the scene, but I don't think there's any. I think there's another brother or cousin who's signed up, but I don't think he's in a position to join yet. So
he's registered with the NXT roster as well, that I've seen online in the dirt sheets.
Right.
Just not to be one of those wrestling fans, but I've seen him Hikuleo wrestle on the indies as well. This guy is enormous, honestly.
Really?
I've had my photo with him, and I'm 6 foot, and I'm breaking my neck to look up at him. He's huge. Well,
see, that might be the thing that turns the tables, and that with the balance, because otherwise it's kind of a 4-on-4 right now. So maybe it's a case of this one swings in the balance and gives the Bloodline the edge. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is another reveal of another one, and I think that would then take this Bloodline onto the next level in one sense. And maybe if Yeah, I think they just need that little bit extra now to really solidify themselves, because otherwise I think as a faction they're just not going to be strong enough. So because Tama Tonga and Tonga they're fine, but they haven't had the impact I thought they would. And they seem to be making up the numbers more than anything. But, yeah. Right, that's it. So let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. What are your predictions for WWE Bad Blood? How close do you think we're at? What kind of surprises do you think? Are there going to be any returns? Could Alexa Bliss make an appearance? Is Charlotte coming back yet, or is it all far too early? As always, thank you very much for watching and listening. We appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. If you are listening to the audio podcast, make sure you hit that follow and subscribe, and drop us a 5-star review while you're there. We'd really appreciate that. And that's it from me. So Lee, anything else before we go?
No, looking forward to it.
Right, and that's it. So until next time, peace out.